So you mentioned the white side or conventional soft, but I had a guy, Brent Tucker, in here who's a former Delta operator. And he mentioned in their, I don't think it was their OTC. I think it was just they bring the best in to train them, right? And he mentioned that Rob Latham went up to their compound, Jerry Michalik. Have you trained any of the black side units or the tier ones?
I have been to tier 1 units, yeah.
Army? Navy?
See?
Are those NDAs? Would that okay? So if Ben were to go train a tier 1 unit such as the Delta Force or Dev Group, would that require an NDA?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that would not be discussed.
Got it. So obviously you haven't done that, but if you did do that,
if I did do that, sounds cool.
It does sound cool. So what would you be training guys like that on?
Well, for me, I just and that's the thing is it's just firearms training. So it's not really different. A lot of people, and this is kind of what you see online and a lot of it in law enforcement circles, where people have the gun is tied to the scenario where you're going to use it. If that makes sense, right?
What does that mean?
Like it's tied to tactics. It's tied to you don't just do shooting. It's this whole, we're doing tactics, we're doing CQB, we're doing all this different stuff. As far as effective training for an individual, you don't do that. You just work on using the tool really, really well, shooting it in a really aggressive way so you can get the outcome you want on the targets. And then quite separately, you can take that and apply that to whatever the situation is or the circumstances, right?
That makes sense to me. And I think I've heard Pranka talk about that quite a bit. For something like a CQB, right? You want to get proficient to the point in shooting where that's totally natural, so that if you're going into a room and making a decision, the last thing you have to worry about is where that round is going to impact.
Yeah, 100%. And then you have guys, then he's seen the other side of it, and I know this pisses him off a lot because he's seen it so much, but there'll be guys that have all these opinions. We're sitting around arguing about what the correct TTP, tactics, techniques, procedures for all this different stuff. And it's a waste because the guys don't have the skill to do any of that. It's all theoretical. It's kind of like the same way I feel when I just read a YouTube comment, a long form YouTube comment from a guy. And I'm just reading through this. I'm like, this guy doesn't practice. He doesn't do any of this shit. And he's just why am I going to, how much time am I going to spend explaining to you the nuanced differences between a Glock 45 and a Glock 47 when it's totally irrelevant and you don't this means nothing. It's a waste of time. It'd be like that because that kind of frustration.
Well, I think that's the great equalizer is training. People assume that if they go buy a Staccato, they're going to shoot like a fucking god when they pick a gun up once every 6 months.
A lot of people assume that.
That's not the case, is it?
No, it doesn't really work that way. No, it doesn't work like that. It'd be cool. That'd be some marketing.
So how did you get connected with Matt Pranka, who's another Delta operator, former Delta operator?
Yeah, Matt has been quite influential on me in kind of some subtle ways. So I got an email from a guy who's wanted to come for private training. I was like, cool, we can do that. And then he shows up at the range I tell him to. He brings me a check from the government. I'm like, cool. And I didn't ask him. I could assume where he works. I didn't ask him anything. And I just whatever. This guy works some army job, whatever that is. Didn't ask him nothing. And we, it was a good week of us training together and it was very effective for him. And then, a few years later, I went and trained with him and some other guys, more. And it was that was also good. And then finally, by the time Matt was getting ready to retire from the Army and move on to his next life, he was telling me, he's like, dude, you got to start shooting rifle because he thought because he'd taken some of the training concepts that I was pushing, applied them to his rifle. And he's like, this is very good. He's like, you should shoot rifle and see what you can get out of it. And I started doing that in 2019, started training myself, I should say. And in a few years, I was training other units or agencies with the rifle incorporated in it.
And you guys put courses on together now, right?
We do. So if possible, we'll do it together. He's still really busy professionally, as am I. But if it works out, I like to get with him all the time.
Do you guys have anything coming up together?
I don't believe open enrollment, no.
Just LE agencies, that sort of thing?
It's just I think we're going to one unit together in a couple months.
Which one?
Come on, man. You're killing me.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you. Is there any, like, if you have okay, well, say what you can about this, but like in all those sorts of units, is there any that stand out that were like very impressive shooting wise?
Well, yes and no. There's some units, and I will say this, it can surprise you. This can surprise you, but it's just all about their access to training and ammunition and in like institutional support. If they have that, the guys are really good. Now, people will talk about there's a big difference between this or that unit, or like, oh, these guys are way better. But from what I've actually seen, there's not really much of a difference as far as individual operators. It's like if they like practice, they're doing their stuff. Like they're all very, very capable people. They're like, type A type of dudes. They could learn to do anything. So if you just give them a chance to learn to do whatever, they tend to be really good at it.
So they typically tend to be like very fast learners the day of.
Yeah. No, and I would say also for like a civilian open enrollment course, there might be a drill. I have a drill set up and I'll show people the drill, explain the drill. This is what I want you to do. And they'll be like, okay. And half of them won't understand it. Like cognitively will not understand what we're doing or what the point is. And one or two is going to fire the wrong number of bullets while we're doing it. Right. That's just in large groups. Like that's the way it works in a group like that. So if it's like guys that have a selection process that want their job and all that, I can show them 3 drills simultaneously, brief all 3, and they'll retain it and they'll start training themselves on the drills I just showed them.
Wow.
Right. So it's a pretty big difference.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's, they say a lot, it's kind of big boy rules at those units, and those guys want to be there, they want to train, and they're doing what they're doing on the side, and you don't have to like force them to work.
No, they want to, those guys they're hardworking guys. Like they want to work. It's true.
What's up, guys? Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the interview. If you got anything out of this video at all, please like the video, leave me a comment, tell me what you thought of the video, tell me who you'd like to see on the show. I really appreciate the support. It goes a long way on these platforms, as you guys know. Most importantly, I have some excellent interviews coming up in the future that I'm really, really excited about. So please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of them. But that's it. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it, and hope to see you again soon.